Rust has been voted the most loved programming languages of the year. But actually learning it, it got the reputation of being brutally tough. Today we are changing that. We are breaking it down from absolute zero. Welcome to BareMetal Rust series. We are kicking things off with an absolute rite of passage for any system developer, the classic Hello World. Let's write our very first Rust program and, more importantly, master its build system. Before we write a single line of code, we need a place for it to live. Rust honestly doesn't care where your code sits, but we are pros. So organization is key. Open up your terminal and let's carve out a dedicated project directory. Inside your project folder, make a new folder called Hello World and jump right in. Now create a new source file named main.rs. See that .rs extension? That tells the entire world, hey, this is the Rust file. A quick pro tip on naming conventions. If your Rust file has more than one word, you always use an underscore to separate them. It's just the Rust way. Now open main.rs in your favorite editor. You only need 3 simple lines to make magic happen. We declare fn main, open some curly braces, and inside we type println, followed by hello world, and that's it. Now let's dissect what we just did. Fn stands for function and main is special. It is absolute entry point of every single executable Rust program. It's the very first heartbeat of your code. Those empty parentheses mean this function takes absolute zero parameters and returns nothing. And the curly braces? Rust requires them around all function bodies to wrap your logic up safely inside. Now, good style dictates placing and opening braces on the same line. But hey, if you ever want perfect formatting automatically, Rust ships with a built-in superhero called Rust FMT. Run it and it keeps your code absolutely spotless. Inside the body, check out the end of the line. That semicolon is crucial. It's a hard stop. It tells the compiler, hey, this expression is completely finished and I'm ready for the next one. Now look really closely at println. See that exclamation mark? That tells Rust we are calling a macro, not a standard function. What is macro? We will learn. Alright, we have written the code, but we can't just feed this text file directly to the CPU. Rust is an ahead of time compiled language. We have to force this human readable text into raw machine logic first. If you are coming from Python or JavaScript background, you are used to running a file immediately. But that means your user needs Python installed just to run your script. Rust is entirely different. Open your terminal and type rustc main.rs. Watch as the compiler physically squishes the code down into a standalone binary executable. On Windows you get main.exe. On Mac and Linux it's just main. You can now take this executable, hand it to literally anyone, and they can run it without even having Rust installed on their machine. To run it yourself, just type /main and boom, hello world is printed on your screen. Running rustc by hand is totally fine for a single file, but real world systems have dozens of files and massive external dependencies. Trying to manage that by hand? It quickly becomes an absolute nightmare. Enter Cargo. Cargo is Rust's ultimate sidekick. It's a build system and package manager bundled into one powerhouse. Serious programmers do not use rustc directly. What we use is Cargo. If you have installed Rust correctly, Cargo comes along with it. Verify it right now by typing cargo version in your terminal. See the version number. Let's start over, but this time the pro way. Run cargo new hello cargo. Just like that, Cargo builds a perfectly organized project directory for you automatically. Let's see what it actually did. Cargo generates a source directory with a main.rs file already sitting inside. It even initialized a brand new Git repository and a .gitignore file for you. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. At the root of your new project is Cargo.toml. This stands for Tom's Obvious Minimal Language and it is absolute control center for your entire project. Let's crack it open. The package sections holds your core configuration stuffs like project name, version and the Rust edition. Right below that is dependencies. This is where you'll list any external code libraries you want to pull in. By the way, in the Rust ecosystem, we don't call them packages or libraries. We call them crates. We don't need any crates for this simple code just yet, but trust me, we will soon. It's time to build. Instead of using rustc, we type cargo build. Cargo reads your toml file, figure out exactly what needs compiling, and creates a brand new directory called target/debug. Your first build also spawns a Cargo.lock file, and you never edit this manually. It locks down your exact dependencies, guaranteeing 100% reproducible builds anywhere. Now we could run the binary manually from the debug folder, or we can just use cargo run. This amazing command compiles the code and runs the executable all in one seamless, beautiful step. Here's where it gets cool. If you type cargo run again without changing your code, Cargo is smart enough to know nothing changed. It skips the heavy build process and runs the binary instantly. A pro tip: compiling the actual binary over and over can seriously slow you down on massive projects. Instead, use cargo check. It verifies your code for errors super fast without wasting time actually producing the executables. So far, we have been building in debug mode, which compiles incredibly fast but runs a bit unoptimized. When your app is completely finished and ready for the release, you want maximum speed. To get that speed, run cargo build release. Rust turns on heavy optimization. It takes slightly longer to compile, but it produces a blazing fast binary locked away inside the target release folder. Because Cargo's conventions are standard, you can grab any Rust project from GitHub, run git clone, cd into it, and just hit cargo build. Cargo handles downloading and linking absolutely everything perfectly. That's your foundation. You have written your first Rust code and mastered Cargo. Next time, an interactive guessing game. Subscribe to BareMetal and I'll see you then.